We have someone else.
No, it's just you four. All right.
Hi, I'm Spencer Conrad, and I chose the sketch Jerry Poppins by the one, the only Philly Fresh, who is now living up in Chicago. I chose this sketch because Philly and I had a really strong relationship as he was a senior and I was a sophomore. He guided me through the club, and he wrote this sketch and he cast me in it. He actually wrote 2 Jerry Poppins, and he cast me as Jerry both times, and I really appreciated that. So here we go.
Sharon, send in my next applicant.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? You'd just love for me to send in your next applicant.
Please.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you.
Whoa, hey, look at this place.
Please have a seat, Mr.
Jerry Poppins at your service. How you doing, Mr.
Business.
Mr. Business, all right.
Well, I'm doing great. Little busy, though.
Hilarious.
Well, let's get down to business.
All right.
Why did you apply for this job?
Well, Mr. Business, sir, I can honestly say it's because I want to be a businessman.
You've come to the right place. Here at Business Incorporated, we do business, and it's all business.
Hot dog.
Indeed. Now, let's go over some basic behavioral questions.
Well, I always behave, so this should be easy.
Give an example of a goal you reached and tell me how you achieved it.
Well, one time, Kellogg's would send you a free pair of 3D glasses if you sent in 100 box tops. I really wanted the glasses, so I kidnapped Marvin Box Top's daughter, no relation, and ransomed her for 100 box tops.
Ah, dedication. We like to see that at Business Incorporated.
I'm sorry. Is there another interviewee we could bring in for, disapproval? My dialogue works a lot better when I have someone less impressive around me.
Okay, I see ya. Hey, Sharon.
What?
Could you send in Hermione Granger?
That bitch?
Yes.
I solemnly swear that you are a big stupid head.
Yes, thank you, Sharon. We have a little thing. It's nothing.
Who are you?
I'm Hermione Granger, Harry Potter's friend.
But you're not Harry Potter?
Right.
Perfect.
Now back to what we were before. Give me a time you failed, but then fixed your problem.
One time, Harry died, but then he came back to life and defeated Voldemort. I just kind of was gone during that part.
Cool story, turd Miney. One time I got kicked out of a Dave Matthews Band concert, but then I realized it was a Dave Matthews Band concert, so I think I won out in the end.
Hermione, good one.
I beg your pardon?
Last question. How do you work on a team?
As a member of Gryffindor, I won the House Cup my first 2 years at Hogwarts.
I don't do teams.
You're hired.
Business.
Hocus pocus.
Y'all all sound like idiots.
Yeah, so straight to business, as it were. Philly Fresh wrote that sketch for me, and my favorite memory in Backburner, at least one of them, actually no, probably just overall my sophomore year, we would go into Scott Dining Hall. And the thing was, during my freshman year, I didn't have a dining plan. So he would swipe me in, and then during sophomore year, I would also swipe him in back and forth. So we would go after Backburner every Tuesday night. We'd walk to Scott Dining Hall. I'd walk. He'd ride his scooter, he had this little scooter that he'd ride all the time. It was really quirky, and I loved it. And we'd walk to Scott. And right before we entered, we'd look at the Tom W. Davis clock tower, and we'd sing Carmen, Ohio. And sometimes we'd have Brian Glowacki, sometimes we'd have RG. One time we brought the whole club, but no matter how many people we had, we sung Carmen, Ohio in front of that clock tower. We sang to it. And then after that, we'd come in, we'd eat, and then we'd just talk about the club, talk about whatever. And he actually helped me write my first sketch. I talked to him for a little bit, and he's like, yeah, like you should really do it. And then that's how I wrote the infamous sketch Dog Dick.
Dog Dick is probably like one of my all-time fave sketches to be in. It was incredible. Also, the first time I met Philly Fresh, everyone was like hyping him up, and then he rolls in with his scooter, and I was like, this is a sick ass man.
Yeah,
Scooter was iconic.
It was, and he taught me something that like I really thought was very important for me. Like I've only wrote like 4 or 5 sketches, and every sketch I wrote, I never had the intention of like casting myself as the lead, because Philly, he cast me as Jerry Poppins, and I was like, wow, that's like the main character, and that's like the funny guy, and I really appreciated that. And there were a couple other points where he did that too, so every sketch that I wrote, like Dog Dick, wasn't even in it. I did that for Grace. I did that for Brian, because Philly set that standard. It's like if you're writing for someone else, you can be a little more free and let them embody how you see them, and then they can have fun with it.
Donkey Spencer.
I never thought Dog Dick would grow on me, but it did.
That is a weird sentence.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be blue, but like that sketch grew on me.
Yeah, it performed so well. It was incredible.
I was also surprised.
It was a good sketch.
Remember Clitoris, the big red dog?
I've been thinking about that so much. I love Clitoris, the big red dog.
I think that video was made just like a short while before I joined Backburner, and that was the final straw.
Andrew was the main guy in that, and Dylan Pryor. I forget who else was in that.
I think I was the mom.
Yeah. Oh man, there was another person at the end. They lost their other dog named G-Spot.
Yes.
Right. They couldn't find that either.
Oh my god.
I remember that my glasses were catching glare from the lighting that we had, so I had to take them off. So I never expected like my college experience to include wandering around like not being able to see anything, calling out clitoris.
I like when you were like, clit.
Clit, where are you? Boy.
I remember now that my line was, I walked up to him and I was like, "What's wrong, son?" And Anders was like, I can't find clitoris." And I was like, "Just like your father."
True studio laughter.
Oh god.
Is it spreading?
I like, when you swallow your spit weirdly.
It's a computer virus. Everyone be safe.
Grace wouldn't know what it's like to swallow spit. She only shoots it out. Sorry, Grace.
Oh.
Grace has never swallowed her spit. She only puts it on other people.
Only spit it.
Well, you know what Shrek says.
What?
Spit and
Shrek?
be free.
Better out than in, I always say.
Oh, better
you,
out than in.
Hannah.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I don't know why I know that, but I do. It's ingrained into the public consciousness.
I'm a little upset more people didn't know that.
Well, honestly, like I heard that and I was like, "What from Blue Shrek?" What is he
Yeah.
referring to?